And we're back. Tonight's video is going to be about periodization and how you can use periodization in your life on a daily level, weekly level, monthly level, yearly level, and how you can use these different phases to grow, learn, achieve success. And it's something that I've really struggled with because, in essence, periodization, as the word periodization implies, you have different periods throughout, let's say, a month or a year where you may have intense focus and work periods, and these may be several hours in a day, or they may be several days at a time, or maybe if you're a boss, you even can extend them for several weeks or several months at a time. But the point is, you can't go balls to the wall 100% all the time, right? There has to be periods of sprinting, periods of rest, periods of intense work, periods of relaxation and recovery. And recently I had been going extremely hard, and it actually ended in me getting sick for a couple of days, which I almost never get sick. And I think a lot of it was based around just having bad nutrition. I'd ended up going down to Miami for a couple of days, and I really only slept a couple hours per night. I wasn't eating super healthy, so I think a lot of it had to do with that. But the point is that then I got sick, and I was really bummed out because I had been in this really focused period. And it was just my body letting me know that I had gone a little bit too hard. But the point is that even during that pullback period, what I realized is that a lot of my most creative ideas, kind of brainstorming ideas, will come in these pullback periods, and the periods of rest, the periods of maybe sickness, even in this case, the periods of regeneration. And a lot of the framework for your life is going to come in these periods. It's similar to how a lot of your biggest growth comes in your failures, or a lot of your biggest learning experiences come from your biggest hardships. And I think that a lot of my biggest, kind of most creative, large-scale ideas come from the periods where I am kind of resting. And so what I encourage you guys to think about is, how are you structuring your life, and how are you able to most effectively capitalize off of your periods of rejuvenation, over the periods of rest? And then, of course, how can you capitalize off of your periods of focus, of balls to the wall, working hard, right? Because what is incredibly discouraging, and I've battled this many times, is being in one of those periods of intense focus, but using it for the wrong thing, or just not utilizing it at all. And what I found is, for me, you can't exactly control when these periods of focus turn on. I mean, you can get better at extending them and keeping maybe the rest period shorter, but a lot of it is it's just a kind of intuitive thing you kind of feel when you're in it. And what I'll notice is that when I feel that I'm in one of my periods where I want to be sprinting, when I say sprinting, I mean working hard, right? In this case, filming a video, writing an article, making advances in whatever, academics or working out, whatever it is, just hustling and getting a lot done. If I'm not doing that, and I know that I should be, I'll kind of get this pit in my stomach. And there's nothing worse than going through several days, several weeks where what you should be doing, and you should be hustling, but you're just underperforming, or you're just not doing it. And it's really one of the worst feelings in the world. But that pit and knot in the bottom of your stomach, that's your body letting you know, it's hey man, you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing. And that can also happen at the same time when you are it's raining hard, so I'm going to pick this up here. When you are in a period of rest, and it's not supposed to be a period of rest, and you're supposed to be hustling, you can have this kind of biofeedback where your body will let you know. But anyway, the point that I'm trying to get at is you can't be going full throttle aggressiveness and working all the time, right? You have to have periods of work and periods of rest. And to further expand on that, you have the periods on kind of a micro level, which would be on a daily level, right? And then you have the periods on maybe a mid-level, like a weekly level, and then you have the periods on a larger level in a year or more. So kind of really trying to determine what's your kind of threshold for being able to work in a day. What are the goals that you want to do in a week? What are the larger goals that you want to do in a year? And then being able to kind of gain that intuitive sense of when you're in that focus work period and how long you can extend that for, and then how long you need to then have those rest periods for. Now, this is actually an idea of periodization that I first was became aware of when I used to work as a personal trainer. And periodization, when I learned about it, was related to strength training, specifically, for me in powerlifting, where the idea is you want to have different phases, kind of primer phases, periods where you have strength phases, maybe periods where you have endurance phases, and you cycle through those generally for several weeks at a time, and then even followed by a complete deload phase of maybe a week or two where you really don't lift heavy at all. If you're more extreme, maybe you don't even go to the gym at all for that period of time. And I think that extrapolating on those ideas from strength training can really apply to your life and periodization in your life. So start to think about, times when you want to be going hard, as in your strength training, and then times where you maybe need to have a rest and recovery or a deload phase. And realize that in the deload phase, you're actually still growing, and many of your most kind of creative or introspective ideas, I think, arise in that rest or deload phase. And even if they don't, that deload phase is going to enable you to then go hard on your next leg up in your push phase. So periodization, realize that there's no way around it. Use it to your advantage, and realize that if you're not doing what you're supposed to be doing, that biofeedback in your body will start to let you know. And again, what I mean by biofeedback is just do a quick scan every morning, from your head to your feet. How do you feel, right? How is your chest? How is your stomach? For me, I get a lot of the pit in the bottom of my stomach. I also get really shallow breathing. When I feel like I'm aligned and I'm doing what I'm doing, my breath is just a lot deeper. It's a lot more relaxed. I'm not really thinking much at all, to be honest. I'm kind of just letting things flow. It's in many ways, releasing is really what's going to get you a lot of these results as far as being able to do a lot of work. Sometimes you need to micromanage things and have every single minute and every single day aligned and have all these brainstorming, but a lot of times it's just a matter of releasing, becoming super centered, not having any tension, and just letting it flow from there. And you'll be surprised as you continue to do this, and it's an ongoing process, but you'll be surprised the types of ideas and work output that you'll have when you're able to just release, have periodization, and that intuition when you know when to push and when to recover. Hope you guys enjoyed this video tonight on periodization. Kind of a spur of the moment video, but I think that a lot of good ideas. Let me know in the comments below what you think. I also have a much shorter video on periodization that I just posted in my private Facebook group called Elevation Syndicate. So go check that out. I'll post a link to that, and hop in there. Bunch of good conversations going on, personal development, whatever you guys want to talk about. Open source, no judgment. I'm down to talk about anything. Love having conversations in there. So go join that Elevation Syndicate private Facebook group. And love you guys, and I'll be back very, very soon. I'm out.